Interesting. I guess we were just talking about new Model Y trims, and we've got breaking that the new Model Y cheaper long range rear wheel drive now is finally available. Very interesting because there's already a couple different things I've already noticed that doesn't necessarily make it the best deal. And now I'm also concerned, are they or did they strip this Tesla Model Y as well? New Model Y, cheapest long range rear wheel drive. So only the back wheel spin, not all four wheels. So really, this is only good for certain markets if you're interested in. We'll talk about that. Is now finally available. Here's what we know. And I already made an error already. There is no 1.99% financing on this brand new Tesla Model Y. And so in these on the surface, it might look like a fantastic deal, but you cannot get 1.99% financing. Maybe that's an oversight. Maybe they change that. They might change it actually in this, like maybe give them a month on that. And so if you're looking for the cheaper one, if you're paying cash, if you're leasing, it might be a better deal. But if you're looking to finance, I would say probably hold off for another month. Price 37,490 after the 7,500 federal tax credit, and a fantastic low payment lease of $399 a month, which if you compare this to the Model 3 is $349 a month, but that's like 349 at zero down. This is $399 a month with 2,000 to actually $3,000 down. And so here it is. If you go to Tesla's website, and before we talk about this and go through all the different details on it, and what I've noticed already, certainly if you're looking to order a Tesla, don't forget to use a Tesla referral code, just like the one down below in the description. So you can get 3 months of full self-driving added to your Tesla vehicle. So let's take a look at it. So the first thing I've noticed is it's a 5.49% interest rate. I'm wondering though, let's see if we can change this down to like 48 months, see if it changes. Nope, still 5.49%, which makes sense. It's a brand new model. A lot of people are waiting for the cheaper version. Why would they subsidize it? And they definitely are not going to be subsidizing it. The second one, let's go to the lease now. $399 a month for whichever it is. Maybe it's a 24-month lease. It is not a 24-month lease. It is a 36-month lease as it's built here, and to $3,000 down to get to that similar payment of $399 a month, which I'm curious to see how much interest rate is posted on this. And of course, this is a great workaround if you don't qualify for the 7,500 federal tax credit, because you can buy it out if you go through Tesla Trust or Chase Leasing with it, because then you get that 7,500 federal tax credit as posted on the deal structure when you do a lease with it. And so now the question is this, like, what can we piece from this and try and figure out like what is removed from the Model Y long range rear wheel drive? Like, is it decontented? Look at that. Wow, 3 to 5 weeks. And so they're getting ahead of this and saying like, hey, it's going to be available, but it's not going to be available for like another month or so. Let's switch the color to the stealth gray, the cheaper version. And yeah, also 3 to 5 weeks. So they are definitely getting ahead of, like, I guess a soft launch or launch of this, because it's coming out in the next month or so. And so now if we take a look at this, I mean, if you see like the different prices, it's about a $4,000 difference in spread. But if you compare like 1.99 versus 5.49, financing at 5.49, you're going to pay $4,000 in interest over the course of that loan. And so I would say probably your best bet is to go for a long range all-wheel drive in that case. And so now we're going to try and figure out, because usually with the rear wheel drive, it's decontented. They like less features, kind of like how the Model 3 rear wheel drive has less features, but I'm not actually sure if the Model Y long range rear wheel drive does have less features. But let's take a look at it. So now we've got the specs page. So you can see we scrolled all the way down to the Model Y specs on the bottom of the page. And let's piece through this quickly here to see if we can figure out. So 327 miles of range on the all-wheel drive, 357 miles of mile range. That's pretty nice actually in terms of trying to go to the distance, because I bet if we do a range test on this, this could probably get very, very close to that 380 to 390, maybe even 400 miles of range if you're looking to get that. 0 to 60 is 4.6 on the all-wheel drive. Rear-wheel drive is 5.4. We can see that's very nice. We can see some of the weight differences between the two. It looks like the rear wheel drive still has the center touchscreen and the rear touchscreen. So that's very nice to see that between the two. Can't really see if there's any other differences between flipping back and forth, but I guess we're not really seeing if there's anything with like the speakers or anything like that. I guess we can try and go to this section to see if we can see any details. And I'm not seeing any details here. I'm trying to figure out, is there less speakers and no subwoofer as it's found in like the Model 3? Is the audio system worse? Because hopefully it isn't. But I mean, if we scroll back up to like the Model Y page, they do talk about all these different things like immersive soundscape. So maybe they made the Model Ys completely identical and didn't de-feature the two vehicles. That would be very nice to see if that was the case, and be pound for pound, because Model 3 between long range and the all-wheel drive and the long-range rear-wheel drive, it is decontented, de-featured between the two. So it's, it's not just about price sometimes, but it's also range and also the speaker system, subwoofer, and all the other things that could be coming with it as well. And so let us know, is this the Model Y rear-wheel drive something that you're going to be looking to purchase, or is it something you're going to hold off on and wait for the performance? Because there's still other trims that we're waiting for, right? Like we've got the third row that's potentially coming out. We've got performance that could be coming out as well. And earlier today, we were talking about all these different trims. And now that we've got long range rear-wheel drive already here, fingers crossed, we've got, I hope performance comes out in like Q3 at this point, because now that we're, crossing off the list of all these different vehicles that are coming out, Model Y performance, and of course 7-seater, but we're really more important and interested on the Model Y performance, is about to come out in the near future. But financing your Tesla, then there's one thing you need to do before you even apply: protect your credit. Seriously, because here's the wildest part. Bank of America just had a data breach recently, and they didn't even tell customers for a month. That means your social, your phone number, and your email could have already been out there, and you'd have no clue. Most companies wait on average of 277 days to report a breach. That's 9 months where your identity is exposed and you're the last to know. That's why I use Aura, today's sponsor. Aura constantly scans the dark web and lets me know if anything tied to me shows up: my social, bank info, or any of my personal information. And that's not just for breaches. There's so many different tools I use with Aura. Want to reduce those pesky spam calls? Aura's got it. Want to remove your data like your addresses, phone numbers from those sketchy broker sites? Aura has that too. They will also include $5 million in identity theft insurance, and everything's packed into one clean app. You can try it free for 14 days at aura.com/DennisCW. I'll put that in the description as well. Don't wait until someone else tells you your data is at risk. That's like turning on Sentry mode after your car got keyed. Protect your credit before you apply. I'm doing it, and you should too. And shout out to Bearded Tesla. It seems like we got a screenshot from Tesla showing that both the Model Y rear-wheel drive and the all-wheel drive have the same amount of features. Nothing is removed. So kudos to Tesla for not making it a cheaper Tesla Model Y. I mean, it's cheaper, but not like cheapening it, the features and everything. We've got here, we can see compare Model Y rear-wheel drive on the left side and all-wheel drive on the right side, including with all trims, 15 speakers, one subwoofer. And so now this has got me thinking, like, all-wheel drive, we don't really need it in California. And if I want the most range, the most comfortability, a lighter vehicle maybe, then maybe the 15 speaker, one subwoofer that's in both of the vehicles might be the move. And rear-wheel drive, this is going to be a hot seller, because there's really nothing holding you back between choosing the rear-wheel drive now versus the all-wheel drive if you're living in states like California, Texas, Florida, really places you do not need the all-wheel drive at all. And so this is going to be a hot seller. Now they need to work on the financing rate, the interest rate, because it's 5.49%. And they need to work on the 1.99% and also the lease rate, because $399 at $2,000 down, when you compare it to like the Model 3 at $349 for 0 down, there's a difference there. But of course, I'm going to try and get what the interest rates on these two vehicles are and get back with you on that maybe in the next few days, so we can really see how good the deal is with this. But let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know what you're thinking. It's finally here, or the next step is finally here with the Model Y long range trims. And of course, the next one is going to be the performance right after this. Rick, thanks for coming in. Kashal, thanks for coming in. Sorry if I messed that up. On top of that, we do have a new podcast episode on the channel. We talk with Chip, and you guys had a lot of different comments on the last podcast episode. So we just went through and talked and responded to all the different comments that you all had. So definitely check it out on YouTube or Spotify. Right there, there's a link if you want to take a look at it. But if you're just joining in, welcome. New Model Y long range rear-wheel drive is available. $37,000 after the tax credit, $399 a month lease, and not 1.99% financing, but 5.49% financing. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think about it? Are you buying it or are you waiting for a deal? But if you are going to be purchasing, don't forget to use a Tesla referral code, just like the one down below in the description, so you can get 3 months of full self-driving added to your Tesla vehicle.